class people. They are people who dropped out of college because they thought them stupid. And they're that sort of people. We would call them perhaps beatniks. But you see, the city doesn't like it because they aren't owning the right sort of cars, and therefore the local car salesmen are doing this. They don't have lawns, and so nobody can sell them lawnmowers. They hardly use dishwashers, appliances of that kind. They don't need them. And also they wear blue jeans and things like that, and so the local dress shops do they put out, having these people around. And they do it very simply. Well, you mustn't do that. You've got to live in a complicated way. You have the kind of car, that identifies you as a person of function, status and all that. So there's a great problem here in our society. Now why is there a problem? There's always a very inconsiderable minority of these non-joiners or people who check out of the game. But you will find that in secure societies are most intolerant of those who are non-joiners. They are so unsure of the validity of their game rules that they say everyone must play. Now that's a double bind. You can't say to a person, you must play, because what you're saying is, you must. So everyone must play is the rule in the United States. And it's the rule in almost all Republican governments. I mean Republican in the sense of just democratic. Because they're very uneasy. Because everybody is responsible. You mean you may try not to be and avoid it and say, oh, let the senators take care of it or the president. But theoretically, everyone's responsible. Now that's terrifying. It's all right when you know what's right. There is an aristocracy, there is a clergy, and they know what should be done. They're used to it. But now it's in your hands. You say, well, what are we going to do? Well, I think this way, you think that way, he thinks the other way. And so we're all unsettled. And therefore, we become more and more conformist. Individualism, rugged individualism, always leads to conformism. Because people get scared. And so they herd together, and it's compounded with industrial society, mass production, etc. They all wear the same clothes, and they're sensible clothes that don't show the dirt too much. And we get duller, drabber, and with the exception of the California Revolution. So the reason for this is, in a way, that democracy as we have tried it started out on the wrong foot. You see, in the scriptures, in Christian scriptures, it says everybody is equal in the sight of God. Now that's a mystical utterance. That means that from the standpoint of God, all people are divine and are made their true function. And that is something that is true on a certain plane of consciousness. But come down with that and try to apply. So that does the community great strength, because it tells the government in no uncertain terms that there's something more than that.
Occurs too. There's many different reasons. Rich and poor. You have to live on every part of the world. You have to live in every country in the world. You have to be every religion in the world and every race. You have to know what it's like to experience absolutely everything, every piece of every situation. And that gets a little overwhelming to people. This is what's happening. to learn. And usually when I say ultimate, people start looking pretty discouraged. You know, I don't know that. But if you realize when you come to this point where you're asking questions, you want to know more, when you get to that point, I think you have already gone through all of those experiences. And now you're finished and you're on the way out. Because once you have experienced everything you need to experience, moving around the karma, you want to get off of that and go to the next lesson. And you've got to return to God, to the source, and its full cycle. With all of the information you have accumulated through hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes of experiences, you take it back to God. And then somebody in the audience one time said, then what? Yeah. That's supposed to be the ultimate when you finally learn it all and return. But I asked them that one time, then what if we all go back? They said, then it explodes out and everything starts all over again. Because it's a constant learning of information. And one man said, well, there must be a point you get to when you've been there, done that. You've done every possible thing you could ever do in this universe. And you've no reason to keep coming back again and again. Well, they said, there's other universes, there's other realities, there's other dimensions, there's a whole lot of other places you can go to. Not just this one. So it's endless. It goes on and on and on and on. And I was told, this is another interesting point, all of you have been part of creation. You're all co-creators with God in the very beginning. When you began creating these things, many of us were a part of that. So some of the things that people have told me, they were there when these things were being created. I've had them in the new book. It talks about those that were there with the creating of the water of earth, creation of the earth, and some of them were there with the creation of universes at the very beginning. Then it has to break down into colors. First universe that was created was red. I see all these red seats here. Was red. Everything on it was red. And other ones were making universes that were blue. Playing with it to see what was going to happen. But we were all there in the beginning trying all these new things. But then did that surprise you, or does it said, many of the other universes that they have created do not create this universe. Sometimes the planets may be square, they may be triangular, they may wobble in different kinds of orbits. Maybe they don't go round, maybe they go in spirals. There's no rules. I said that exhibits the law of physics. The law of physics. Every universe is created has its own laws of physics. The people on it, the planets on it, everything is really active in different ways. So I've had many people go to these lifetimes where they were doing all of these things. I find it fascinating. Now they're back here in this life. It's like, why didn't have to come down? This would be like coming back to kindergarten again if they were able to do all of those things. I'm watching the clock here too, but anyway, I've got so many things. I'm trying to figure which one to talk about first. They told me to keep on going. I'm supposed to go to 6 o'clock, and I want to have some time for asking questions also. Okay. It's been happening in the last several years. When I'm doing the session, instead of going back to past lives, the person is going back to the source where they began. And they're there. They're back with God. They're with the source. They're wonderful. They don't know what it is. And I'm always talking to them. I said, well, I know they left because here is the body laying there. You must have left that place. It was so beautiful. Why did you want to leave? And I heard the call. And I answered the call. Now, and the ETs are very much involved with this. They have been monitoring us and watching us since the very beginning of the creation of the planet and life on the planet because they are the ones who created it. They told me in one of my books, they said, why do people say we're here to take over the world? Since ours, it always has been. We've been taking care of you since the beginning. We're shaking our heads about it. But they cannot interfere. That's a divine directive. Just like Star Trek says, non-interference, that's real. They cannot interfere in what the species is doing. They just have to allow it to go on and on and on. Some of my other videos, the lectures I've done, I spent the whole lecture on talking about all of that. But they have to let the people go on and make sure they're safe. All they do is monitor, watch, and they try to help where they can, but they can't interfere. The only time they would be allowed to interfere would be if we got to the point it would disrupt the whole universe. So that would never be allowed to happen. If that ever happened, they would have to step in to keep it from happening. So they said everything was going along fine until this report. You notice at that time it was going to be the fantastic of UFO sightings at that time. You know why? They were monitoring us, and all of a sudden, they noticed the atomic bomb. And oh my gosh, these kids playing with down there. So they came in to watch and see just what's going on here. And they knew that what we were fooling around with, we didn't have any business doing it, we didn't know how to handle